So I just made it in, no problem. So I feel relieved because with my experiences, trying to attend the CFA annual conference in Hong Kong. I think that was May 14th of 2018. I was, as far as I was aware, I was a CFA charter holder, but unfortunately they didn't let me in because they they didn't want me asking questions about cryptocurrency, which is quite amazing. But it's all good because they put me on the right path. Doing hackathons across the world, and I've had a great time doing it. Last night I met a couple of guys that I think they're living in Russia now, and which basically, if you have a Russian IP address, then you're instantly banned from MetaMask, right? So censorship resistance, it's a huge issue. But anyway, they had also participated in ETH Global Mexico, or ETH. At that time we called it ETH Mexico, but I think they had branding issues, right, with ETH Zurich. So anyway, first I'll talk about ETH Global Mexico. So the project that I presented there, it was the DTT DEX. It aims to be the Uniswap of Darrow, right? So on Darrow, you have homomorphic encryption on the base layer, and and this is great, right? So if you know someone's Ethereum address, right, you know every asset they own. So it's it's horrible for financial privacy. But on Darrow, it's you have homomorphic encryption on the base layer, so basically asset ownership, instead of being at the smart contract level, which is the case with Ethereum smart contracts, right? With Darrow, asset ownership is actually at the wallet level, right? So you're the only one that actually knows what you have, right? So the project was, we have the Ethereum Darrow bridge, so you can take pretty much any ERC20 token or any asset on Ethereum, and then you send it to our bridge, and then we'll issue you a wrapped token on Darrow. And then the beauty of it is, once you have the wrapped token, you can list it permissionlessly on the DTT DEX. So this is a project that I presented at ETH Mexico back in 2022, and as I mentioned, the guys from last night that were staying at my hotel, I treated them to a couple glasses of wine. But we were just talking. But yeah, that was the project that I submitted to ETH Mexico, and that would set off a chain of events. But it's all good. It was cool. So in 2023, a couple things happened. I mentioned about the branding issues, right? So ETH Zurich is actually, it's a university in Switzerland, in Zurich. And so, it's very famous, right? And so anyway, what happened is, I've lived in Mexico for 4 years. I have, residency out of Progreso in the Yucatan. But anyway, so I was in, Oaxaca with at San Jose del Pacifico, and anyway, so I ended up, and I also, I have a SUV in Mexico, right? I had one, I should say. But yeah, so I've had it for 3 years, and so what happened is I was in Oaxaca, and then I met this really beautiful Swiss girl. Her parents are actually Indian, but her dad, I guess, was the ex CEO of Air India, but now they live in Faido, in Italian Switzerland. But so anyway, so just what happened is that I met her. We really hit it off and clicked. And I needed to get like new license plates in Progresso, where I have residency, but I hadn't gotten them yet. And she has, it's complicated, but basically she has family in Merida, which is like, I don't know, like a half hour away from Progresso. Like Progresso's on the beach, so like there I go running on the beach and swimming every morning, right? That's like my routine and whatnot, right? And so anyway, we drove together from Oaxaca all the way to, let's see what else we have on the inside. Yeah. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, so we drove together, and I don't know, like 30 hours, and I just showed her all around Mexico, and she had residency out of Palenque in Chiapas, and so we went there and we met some of her friends and whatnot, and I was just so in love with her, man. Like just so beautiful, and and she's got the curly hair like the Italian blood. But anyway, so anyway, we drove 30 hours all the way to Merida, and then I dropped her off at her family's place in Merida. And but then she's like, well, I want you to visit me in Switzerland, right? And I'm like, well, Switzerland's pretty expensive if I go. Like, it has to be, work related. And so I found Hack Zurich. It's the largest hackathon in Europe. And honestly, at the time, I thought it was the ETH Global. I was looking for like the ETH Global Zurich, but it was fortuitous. And the reason being is that, I mean, honestly, I love ETH Global, but Hack Zurich's even better because they pay for flights. However, it's just very competitive, right? Because they pay for flights. So only 1 out of 4 people that applied actually were accepted, or was accepted. And so anyway, I think I can say her first name. So my Swiss ex-girlfriend's name was Shiny. And I told Shiny, hey, I found this hackathon, it'd be good for me to compete in it, and then, Switzerland's really expensive, so I need to do something like work related. Hola, amiga.
Buen día.
Oh. Pardon? Like I need to do like something work related, right? And so anyway, she helped me out. Like she let me use her address in Faido, like in Italian Switzerland, and it was cool. Like so, because I had like her local address. I mean, I have been doing like ETH Global Hackathon since 2011, so I've won quite a few prizes and whatnot, and but I was able to leverage that track record in order to really get basically a free flight from Cancun all the way to Zurich. So yeah, I used her address to apply, and luckily, it was accepted. So I was 1 out of the 4. And they paid for my flight, Cancun to Zurich. I was really busy with the hackathon. If you've ever done a hackathon, just the time pressure it's intense. But anyway, when I was at Hack Zurich, it was amazing. So I met a few guys from I don't know, it's a DAO in Switzerland. I forget the name exactly. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, they told me about Web3 Fest, and they're like, hey, if you want to go to Web3 Fest, I can get you a ticket. Just show up there and they'll give you a ticket. And so I showed up. It was at the 5 Hotel, so it's a 5-star hotel in Zurich, and yeah, I mean, it was such an amazing place. And Switzerland's really expensive, but the good thing about hackathons is all the food was free, all the alcohol was free. So like gin and tonics, beers, it was awesome, man. But so anyway, that was a lot of fun. And then I met Brittany. I don't know, she's a whistleblower for like Facebook, and if you know anything about my background, I'm a CFA whistleblower, so like we have something in common, because the censorship issues are really, it's insane. If you're a real whistleblower, they'll do everything that they can to try to silence you. And actually, unfortunately, that seems to be the case with Devconnect as well. But anyway, so Brittany, she was a whistleblower for Facebook. I don't know, basically exposed how Facebook was rigging elections across the world, right? But I told her about my experiences, and she bought me a Peroni and so Italian beer, right? But in Switzerland, especially in Zurich, it was 12 Swiss francs for just a beer for a Peroni, right? It's insane. But yeah, she bought me a beer, and you danced on the dance floor, and had a great time. But anyway, I ended up meeting this tax lawyer from Mexico City, and I told her I've got residency out of Mexico in Progreso, Yucatan, and what she claimed was that she's she does tax avoidance strategies for high net worth individuals. This is what she claimed, at least. But so anyway, we're talking and whatnot, and I was naive, and I gave her my Mexican residency card, which was retarded, right? Well, I was naive, right? But I was, telling her that, I have my own, tax avoidance strategy, right? And so she's like, how does that work? And I'm like, if you know anything about, being an American citizen, basically, you can report things to the IRS and then get a commission, for whatever, tax evasion or whatnot, right? So anyway, so she's and she was laughing at me, because she's like, oh, I've got this, rich digital nomad's residency, and he's American. I can extort him, I get a big commission, from the IRS, right? It's but I, you have a few drinks and you loosen up, but then I realized what was going on, and then I just ignored her, and she's trying to dance with me, and it's the beautiful women. Those are the ones you have to be careful of, because they'll ruin you. Of course there are exceptions, but anyway. So after that, I kind of I learned a lesson, right? And it's just anything tax related, keep your mouth shut, right? Because anyway, because I despise paying taxes, but I do because I want to stay out of jail, right? and because I'm a CFA whistleblower, I've shown up on CIA lists since 2018, so I'm definitely on the radar. That's for sure. And in fact, I published an article about it. I guess that was last year. It's I think it was. I don't know. The deadline was October 1st or something, I think, of last year. And Vlad, he has his own crypto privacy magazine, and anyway, I made my article submission. Why any project claiming to have fully homomorphic encryption, FHE, on the base layer is a scam. And So this is actually a topic that I'll be talking about. I believe it's 9 to 10 a.m. in the Blue Pavilion on November 20th. And I'll be talking about other things too. Oh, it looks like I can get a beer here. Let me ask. I'll do a walk and talk with a beer. Y joven, disculpa, una cerveza de barril. ¿Tienes de Pilsner?
Cerveza a partir de las 4:30.
4:30. Okay. Okay, so apparently I can't get a beer. Oh well, it's all good. Now where was I? So apparently they're not serving beers until 4:30. So that's pretty disappointing. But because for me, like I find that gear, it helps me to be more creative, and I'm more productive. Like if I'm drinking a little bit of beer, So, but everyone's different. So anyway, I was at the 5 Hotel, and it was awesome. Like Switzerland, it's a very special place. And there was this panel discussion, and there were these, Swiss lawyers, and talking about the regulations in Switzerland and whatnot. And so there were a couple of the lawyers. Like I talked to them because a couple years ago I flew to Dubai to incorporate my business there. Because I specialize in digital cash, and unfortunately, like in Dubai, you're supposed to have high economic freedom, but unfortunately, it's just from my perspective, at least, it's just not the case. So businesses, unfortunately, aren't allowed to have privacy coin operations, and anyway, so I'm like, okay, that's a dead end. And then I met the Swiss girl, and she wanted me to visit her in Switzerland, and she even invited me to stay like at her parents' house, like for a couple nights in Faido, in a town in Switzerland, in Ticino. And so that was really cool, and it was just such an amazing experience. And and I was recently like back in Switzerland again for my birthday. I was also in Faido, and I was in the morning, like where I'm no longer together with my Swiss ex-girlfriend. Oh, look, they have music there. That's pretty cool. But yeah, we're no longer together. But I still saw her dad in the morning, and I had he recognized me because I've got like my red Tecate Roja hat on. So, but he's cool. And there's no hard feelings, but anyway. So I was talking to these, Swiss lawyers, and the first one, I kind of got the feeling that he was trying to scam me, just milk me for money. But then I found a really good one, and so anyway, I explained to him about the Ethereum Darrow Bridge, where you can take basically any ERC20 token or any asset on Ethereum, send it to the bridge, and then you'll receive a wrapped token on Darrow, right? Where you have homomorphic encryption on the base layer. So you have privacy. And then our DTT DEX. So basically what he said is in Switzerland, basically, bank secrecy laws are part of the Swiss Constitution, so it operates very differently than in places, such as Dubai, where privacy coins are legal. So what are you saying is that as long as you can take the wrapped token on Darrow, which is, where you have privacy, as long as you can send it back to the bridge and receive the original Ethereum asset back, then it's completely legal, even though it's a privacy coin project. And so basically Switzerland, it's the only place in the world where I found that what I do is 100% legal. So I'm like, this is awesome, right? And yeah, so like it was such a great insight. And so anyway, then after that, I ended up getting invited to speak, because I'm very grateful to ETH Global, but because I have the track record of doing hackathons at ETH Global. So after Hack Zurich, I just decided I was going to try to speak at Devconnect, right? And so like I applied at, to speak at many different events, but the only one that accepted me or to give a lightning talk, it was Censorship WTF, which actually it was sponsored by ETH Global themselves. So, I got, not only did I get the opportunity to give a lightning talk there about the importance of basically encryption on the base layer, but I also got a free ticket. So that was awesome. So, Devconnect 2023 in Istanbul, really loved it. And, again, thank you so much, ETH Global. You're really awesome. So anyway, so fast forward to, let's fast forward to the 4th of July of this year. Basically, I had this skydiving project. The project that I had submitted to Hack Zurich in 2023, it was a redeemable NFT project where basically it's a ticketing system on the blockchain. But we were using XRPL, right? But it's really cool. So if you pay so I went skydiving with this, girl from the Czech Republic, and so anyway, there was a video that was kind of a part of it, right? And so we attached the video, using IPFS for storage to the NFT itself, and then, as I mentioned, it's a ticketing system on the blockchain. So, for example, if you pay a deposit, or this is in Porto Escondido with the girl from the Czech Republic that I went skydiving with, if you paid, I think it was 100 pesos or something like that, a deposit of 100 pesos, then you could go skydiving again for half the price, within a year. And so that was the project that I ended up submitting to Hack Zurich, and it went really well. I think I ended up winning 6 prizes or something like that. I forget exactly what, but anyway, but I was very happy about it. And so anyway, I decided, so I was in, I decided that I wanted to kind of no longer live in Mexico, because I went to Mexico to basically escape the COVID restrictions, but the COVID restrictions are no longer around, so it didn't really make sense to live in Mexico anymore. So I recently sold my SUV, so I think I sold it on October 8th or something like that. So I no longer have an SUV in Mexico, and so anyway, but so I was I went back to Mexico, and after having gone basically skydiving and whatnot, and submitted the project to Hack Zurich, the redeemable NFT project. And I'm like, okay, let's go back to Porto Escondido and let's go skydiving again, and because I've got the credibility of the hackathon, right? And let's pitch it to them, and and make this ticketing system on the blockchain a reality. So anyway, I was back there. This was like, I don't know, early February or whatnot. Like, I was ready to go skydiving, and it's crazy, so crazy. I just remember, and it's crazy. Like, I would have been on the plane too. Like, if there was a skydiving instructor that I saw, and I had his phone number, and like he sent me a message, about skydiving again, and man, it was close. But basically, I was thinking, okay, if I do this, like, it has to be business related. And so, like, February 11th, like, he wanted me to go, and luckily I didn't. But what happened is, on February 11th, unfortunately, there was a crash, right? And apparently there was a 62-year-old guy. He was sleeping on the beach in Bacocho, in Puerto Escondido, and the skydiving plane, did him in. But that was the only fatality. But anyway, so crazy, yeah. And I was almost on it, but luckily I wasn't. But apparently there were 5 skydivers. They got injured, and even the pilot was so injured that it ended his career. Could never go like skydiving again. And I'm like, and I just remember like being in Bacocho and the beach was closed. I'm like, what's going on? And then later, like, I learned about the crash, and I'm like, man, I was almost on it. So anyway, so here's what happened. This is back in February of 2023. I got invited to give an interview with the Crypto Vigilante, to give an interview at Anarchapulco, because I was working on privacy coin projects, like the Ethereum Darrow Bridge and the DTT DEX. And so, at Anarchapulco, like, I was the first interview there, because Rafael Laverde, like, he interviewed lots of people. But anyway, so I was the first interview, and the way I did it is they had like a Telegram group, just like how Devconnect has their only or has their official like Telegram group. Anarchapulco also had their like official Telegram group. But which it's ironic because I'm actually banned from the official Devconnect Telegram group for what's my crime? Promoting privacy coins. But anyway, so Rafael Laverde, who actually recently blocked me on both of my Twitter accounts that are still active. He interviewed me. I was the first interview, and then I don't know like how many other people he interviewed. But then there was Kalina Lux, so she was charged with basically giving a presentation at Anarchapulco, right, about Darrow. And she was cool. Like, so she actually mentioned my projects on Darrow. The Ethereum Darrow Bridge and DTT DEX. Like with the idea of being the Uniswap of Darrow. Like permissionless listing and whatnot. Make the pie as big as possible. So like Uniswap, but with privacy. So yeah. And but the weird thing is the interview just never came out because they claimed that I was a scammer somehow. And I'm like, okay, if I'm a scammer, then what evidence do you have me of like being a scammer? And what are my scams? because again, like, you know, at hackathons, you have credibility, and, you know, I presented the DTT Dex, like, at ETH Mexico 2022, like, the code's all there, like, everything's ready to go, like, how am I a scammer? What is my scam? And so they banned me from their Telegram group, like the Darrow, I think it's Darrow Entrepreneurs Telegram group, and for whatever reason, like, the interview just never came out, which is just, it's bizarre. That was the whole point of going there. And but anyway, let's go back. So I you know, I had an SUV in Mexico, and I just kind of decided that, and I've got like Spanish language skills, right? But I just decided, like, hey, on the Anarchapulco Telegram group, I'm like, hey, I'm driving to Acapulco from Puerto Escondido. If anyone else is there, then well, you know, you can hit me up. And so there was this British woman that responded with, I think her daughter was like 13 years old. And so we met up for coffee, and then, you know, we just decided, okay, let's do it. And she's like from, she's British from the UK, and, you know, just a really amazing lady. But anyway, so yeah, I drove her there, and just kind of the arrangement was she paid for, and this was just really nice. I'm thankful for it. So she paid for all the gasoline and meals and whatnot, and so yeah, that was cool. And anyway, so there was all the controversy, like, from, I don't know, just things that had happened at Anarchapulco. So, you know, because they were saying I was a scammer, that was their excuse of why, like, my interview, which was the whole point of why I went to Acapulco, or Anarchapulco to begin with. But anyway, at least they gave me free tickets, so that was pretty cool. And I even got to attend, like, a VIP dinner, like, with Kalina Lux. So I think I was gifted like maybe $2,000 in conference tickets or something like that. And so that was cool. But my whole point of being there, you know, promoting my privacy coin projects, like they put a stop to it. And anyway, so yeah, so I ended up finding a couple, I think they're from Pennsylvania, to drive them back from Acapulco to Puerto Escondido. And they were cool, and it was the same way, like where, you know, they paid for gasoline and meals, and, you know, I have language skills, they didn't, so, you know, I have like a lot of experience, like driving in Mexico. And so anyway, so I drove them back, but, you know, in Mexico, like, there are lots of scams, right? So, you know, there's scams of land, there's scams of women, there's scams of everything. So, but, you know, it's a very good education about scams, right? But somehow I'm the scammer, right? Anyway, whatever. So in Bacocho, there's this new like development, right? And I think I even looked at it as well. And anyway, this couple from Pennsylvania, they were just amazed. They're like, "Wow, man, it's only $200,000, yeah, for like a beachfront apartment or condo." And so they ended up